today's blog is all about running or jogging and why we should do it. And what does the research and the science say about running and longevity? So the general consensus in the research seems to be that running is good for you on a number of different levels. And on the first level, overall, is that running on average will help you to live around 4 to 5 years longer than non-runners. I'll put the links to all of this research underneath the video. I'm a bit out of breath here because I've just gone across a rough piece of terrain. It's a bit smoother. So, running's good for you on a number of different levels, and generally runners live longer, so it's worth doing. But there are caveats. So first, let's go into why running might be good for us. Well, firstly, I'm just going to do a reverse run here. Well, the first thing is the cardiovascular aspect. So it gets your heart going, which has been shown to improve heart function and reduce the likelihood of heart attacks, which is always good. Secondly, it's been shown to have a beneficial effect on your lipid profiles. High HDL lowers LDL, the bad lipoprotein, which have been shown to improve or reduce atherosclerosis. So there are two things. The third thing that's also often overlooked is that particularly if you're older, past 35, beginning at 35, certainly by 40, as you start to lose bone density. And impact training, such as running, is really important. Nothing else will help you preserve your bone density apart from high impact. Some say that supplements may do it, calcium for example, but it's not, the evidence isn't that strong. So weight bearing exercises are really important for maintaining bone density, particularly if you're older. Now here's a point. It's still important to do other weight training exercises as well for your upper body, because again, weight training has been shown to increase bone density even in the rest of other bones throughout your body. But for the legs, hips, etc., spine, some high impact is crucial. What else? The other benefit of running is there's evidence that it can reduce some cancers. For example, prostate cancer, breast cancer if you're a woman, and there are a few others as well that exercise, in particular running, seems to have an impact on. But again, I'll paste the link below. And the other thing as well, diabetes. one of the biggest causes of morbidity and mortality in the Western world. And there's evidence that running or jogging can reduce the chances of you getting diabetes. But here's a point. It doesn't seem to be as effective as high intensity training. So again, if you see my previous video, it's all about HIIT training, high intensity interval training, short bursts of high speed. So it's important to incorporate more than one different type of exercise into your training. So, altogether, and the big thing, one of the controversies about running, is it good or is it bad for your joints? Now this is actually quite contentious, and research has been trickling in over the years, and it appears that running is actually pretty neutral. So it might not directly damage your joints, but it may not preserve them either. So various studies have shown different things here, but the general consensus is that it's probably mildly beneficial within reason. And leads me on to another important point, and that is, what's the optimum quantity of running? And this is really important. It appears from the latest studies that long distance running is not good for you. There are markers of damage in the body, inflammatory markers, and they've measured these in long-term runners or extreme runners, marathon runners, and a significant amount show scarring of the heart. Secondly, there are other markers of bone damage, and again, among extreme runners or high mileage runners, there's damage to the cartilage. Conversely, there's a whole array of new studies that have come out that seem to show that the optimum amount of exercise is actually pretty low. So again, I'll post all these studies below, and these are big studies, but what they seem to show is that even 10 minutes 3 times a week is enough. And when I mean enough, it will hit your indicators or improve all your indicators of longevity, and at the same time avoid joint damage, but maintain bone density. So that seems to be the compromise, is that you can be super fit and do long distances, but it really does wear your body out. But at the other extreme, if you don't do enough, your body disintegrates. So it's finding that happy medium, and it appears that it's probably about 5 to 10 minutes a few times a week, which is remarkably low if you think about it. Now here's a mistake that a lot of people make about running or jogging. I'm not a natural runner. I'm slightly heavy. At 85 kilograms is my natural body weight, and I've always been a good sprinter, but not necessarily a runner, particularly long distances. But I've grown used to it now, to the extent that I like it. And as they always say, if you you're going to take up running regularly, the hardest decision is actually getting up and stepping outside the door. Once you're out, it's fine. So, just a couple of hints and tips. Sorry, this is really boggy ground here. And tips on running. First, it's amazing how quickly you lose your fitness if you stop running or stop doing aerobic exercise. If you've not been running for a year or even 10 years, you're probably still in your mind think you can walk out the door and run for 6 miles. And maybe you can, but it's guaranteed to be painful. And this is what happens. Most people go out the door, say they're going to run even 2 miles, and then 200 meters later, 400 meters later, they're shattered and they give up. Don't do that. The best advice I ever got when starting to run is to be under ambitious. So that is, put your shoes on, get ready, and go out. Just get out the door, even for 2 minutes. Because I can guarantee, even by doing that, you're doing more than most people in the UK. If you feel good, ramp it up a bit. So there are all these different techniques where you can run for a couple of minutes, stop, and then build it up slowly. My advice is, listen to your body, but start in a way that's realistic. So for me, I started just doing a 5-minute run. And the reason for that is that it takes a long time for your muscles, and in particular your tendons, to get used to running. Tendons have got very little blood supply, and they can literally take months or even years to build up strength, which is why true sprains take so long to heal. So start slow, build up, and you'll boost your own confidence in that way. The other thing is do it regularly. So have a goal, have a timetable, just get outside the door. And finally, it's all about cross-training. Running is good, limited running is good, but so is sprint training, so is weight training. In other words, cross-training. It's the hot word at the moment, but to keep yourself flexible, fast, then you need to do different types of activity, and that's the key, and I'll be talking about that later. So, don't make the mistake of being over-ambitious when you start running. Start slow and work up. Be under-ambitious. And then before you know it, you'll be running those 30 minutes. For what it's worth, I tend to run maximum 3 times a week, and that's 4 miles each way. So 12 miles maximum, could be 8 miles. But then, and I do that on my commute to work, but then what I tend to do is mix it in with cycling. Lower impact, still cardio, but I still need that higher impact for your joints, for your bones. So mix and match as always. And one more tip, actually. If you're overweight, if you're naturally big, fine. But if you are overweight, I would suggest actually cycling to start off and get comfortable and build up some aerobic capacity. And I'll tell you why. Is that running is hard. It's hard on your joints, hard on your lungs, hard on your cardiovascular system. And if you haven't done it for a while, you'll only be able to run a couple of minutes before you're dead. So, running does burn more calories than cycling on average, but you can cycle for much longer. So, if you haven't done any running for a while, or you're overweight, just consider starting on a bike. You can burn far more calories. You can probably go on a 1 hour cycle straight off. You couldn't do that with running. I'll do another video about that. So, in summary, small amounts of running is all you need. Up to 10 minutes, 3 times a week. That's what the science seems to suggest. Start slow, be consistent, mix it with other exercises, and most importantly, just get out of the door and do it, because you'll feel better afterwards.